All right, quick video on Bitcoin. Not going to be paying attention to a lot of other charts, and also going to be throwing out some news items and fundamentals out the window. Going to be focusing primarily on just what the chart is telling us. I'm going to try to ignore the Mt. Gox stuff, ignore the FTX stuff, which is actually bullish, and ignore anything else that might be, Germany selling their Bitcoin, that might make us more biased in one direction versus the other. And I just want to focus on the chart, which has been in a very long range here. We've been in this price range for 124 days, which is a very, very long time for Bitcoin to range. Even these ranges back last summer usually ended after about 60 days. If you took this entire big range, it was around 206 days. So that was one of the longer ones. But generally, Bitcoin starts making moves after just 90 to 100 days of ranging. This has been a wider range though. So our range low, I've got it at $59,000. That's been a very important level for us to hold, and we just recently did hold it. We wicked right back up, and we've gotten a lot of buyers coming back in, pushing price back up to 63K. Another big level that I want to go over in case we do find our way back down towards $61.5 thousand is 61.5K, this 5x short margin pressure level. You need to understand what exactly that actually means, right? So we're actually going to go out to the daily and we're going to throw on our short margin pressure level so I can kind of explain to you guys how this is derived and why it's so important, right? So we have our margin pressure level indicator set on our all-time high here for Bitcoin, and this is showing us that below 61,480, 61.5K, more or less, that is the point where you can no longer short Bitcoin on 5x leverage and maintain a liquidation point above this all-time high. And you can see how big of a deal our 4x short margin pressure level has also been, right? So ultimately what is setting our range low. As we drop below $59,000, the shorters have to start taking positions. If they want to use up to 4x leverage, they have to start moving their liquidation points below the protection of this all-time high, right? It's very important. So you start to see some shorts leaving the market below 59K, which allows longs to come in and have a higher impact on the market. Now, what we've seen right here on the 4 hour, and let me get rid of these short margin pressure levels, is a nice recovery pattern that is just a very simple bullish pattern. It's an ascending triangle, right? And I'll try to grab the highlighter tool here so you can see this a little bit better with this nice ascending triangle. 3 touches here. Generally, you want to long on the 3rd touch. And yesterday, we just started chopping straight through all of this resistance nonstop. Right, nonstop until we hit our kind of confluent levels that we're going through right now, our confluent margin pressure levels, long margin pressure levels, that is, that are actually holding up really, really well. This is a massive recovery level for me. And the fact that we've set this higher low here on the 4 hour, and if we were to zoom into the hourly and turn this prior resistance into support, that is a really, really good sign. We are still kind of ranging here or consolidating here, so we haven't broken out above this and confirmed above this. I wouldn't be surprised to see something like that. This could take a couple of days or maybe even a week to resolve. I would love it if we just zipped straight up. That'd be fine too. This has been one of the key levels for me to put on a lot of risk. So when we pushed up above this yesterday, and now that we're holding, I'm happy to put on a lot of risk here. Now, when we started breaking out above this 5x short margin pressure level, again, added more risk here. Added risk here on the low, to be quite honest. When we pushed back up above $59,000 and we saw ETH Bitcoin going up, added quite a bit to a Pepe position, quite a bit to an ETH position, a Jupe position, and a couple of other longs that were able to enter and get really good entry points on down here, just because it was a massive, massive flush. But again, not wanting to go all in down here, not knowing whether or not the lows are in. The ETH Bitcoin chart was definitely the signal. We can kind of, in hindsight, talk about why that was so important. We'll just throw on the ETH Bitcoin chart. And we'll go into like the hourly. You can see ETH Bitcoin was screaming as Bitcoin was making a new low and flushing here, right? ETH Bitcoin started going through the roof. That was our signal that was our bottom, or likely to be our bottom, and to get long, right? So just kind of a recap because I know I was out last week. Okay, so this is actually really, really nice now that we're in at the hourly here. What we're seeing on these 5x and 10x long margin pressure levels is really nice. So as price pushes back down below these two levels, those longs can start coming in on 5x and 10x leverage respectively, and maintain their liquidation points. The 10x one would be below this local low, and then our 5x long margin pressure level would be attached to this 50K bundle of, consolidation, volume, liquidity, whatever you want to call it. There's tons of liquidity down here. Lots of incentive to maintain a liquidation point below 50K, right? That is a big support level. It's a big psychological level. A lot of Bitcoin longs want to maintain their liquidation points below 50K, right? So what we're actually seeing here and why this is kind of, getting choppy here is as price moves above this level, you can no longer long on these respective leverage amounts and maintain liquidation points below those last two big local lows, the 56.8K one and the 50K one from a while back. But as we drop back below this little zone, those longs can start coming back in. And that's exactly what you want to see. You want to see that, hey, these longs are actually hungry to come back in and push price back up. And that's what we're seeing. So this is why it's getting a little bit choppy, but as long as those longs continue to come in every time we dip down below this level, that is a very, very good sign. Coming off of a bullish pattern, ascending triangle, back test the prior resistance. Everything here is, to me, screaming bullish. Risk reward is excellent. We zoom out a little bit. Looking at our overall range here, you're getting better risk reward on longs to move back to the top of the range than, to set your stop loss below 59K. So for me, this is a big long opportunity. I'm already long, but this to me is just screaming bullish. Doesn't mean it's going to be a straight shot upwards. Also, we do have some fun. I said I was going to, isolate just for the chart, but we do need to be willing to flip flop here a little bit, depending on how we see the Ethereum ETF do. And I believe there's a lot of speculation that that's going to go live tomorrow. Actually, I haven't heard any recent updates on that. Last I heard, it was July 2nd. So just expect some volatility. Expect that we could see, an ETH ETF situation that was similar to the Bitcoin ETF situation, where maybe there's a lot of grayscale ETH being sold off. Who knows? Mt. Gox distributions could start going out. Again, all these fundamental things could change market structure here. But right now, isolating just for the chart, I would say this is very bullish as long as we are above 63K. As long as we are above 63K and those longs continue to press upwards, then I think this looks great. What I don't want to see is a rejection here, right? And losing that 5x short margin pressure level, because that means if we start losing this red level, that means that the shorts and the bears are starting to gain a lot of confidence and going to try to expand price downwards below the range, right? You don't want bears to have a ton of confidence towards the bottom of a range. And right now they don't, right? Right now the shorts are not coming back in to press us down. But if we were to see drop below 61.5K, right, that doesn't get bid right back up, that's not ideal, because then the bears are confident towards the bottom of the range. That means they expect the range to break and they're going to try to break the range. So a couple of things to pay attention to there, but overall, everything looking solid here, everything looking bullish for the time being. If you want access to those margin pressure level indicators and some of the other indicators that we actually didn't even use, throw on the easy bands here and see how big of a level we have coming up here with our 21-week simple moving average here. We want to see a reclaim of that as well to really get bullish here in a big way. So this just all turns into a big deviation. We recover. That is insanely bullish. I think we go to all-time highs. If we get a rejection here, right, look out below, or at least watch 61.5K. Hopefully this was helpful. If it was, like and subscribe, or like and retweet if you're on Twitter. Head over to Sistine.ai to get access to our Discord, our research that we put out, as well as the indicators that we use in these videos. Thanks for tuning in. Catch you next time. Peace.